Michael here from myrod.com. If you've been paying attention to the series we're doing on this build, this beautiful black stallion behind me, you've probably been waiting for this video. This is the final video in a playlist of 3. Click here if you'd like to see those, in which we take an amazing car in great condition to start with some old school mods, which I'll talk about in a minute right here, and then we enhance that car. We bring it kind of up to today's specs in terms of performance, and we do some cosmetic enhancements too, just to make the car have sizzle top to bottom. So today we'll talk about all of that, but first let's take a look at the things that we did to get to where we're at. Well, it's obvious a lot of work went into this car to get to where we're at, but let's talk about what we started with. And I have this really cool 1993 invoice for the performance build that this car benefited from back in the day, and it was no small deal. $8,643 worth of enhancements to the motor that's in that car. So it had the best internals possible back in the day. It's a roller rocker motor, original block, but roller rocker, all the best internals that you could buy back in the day, they're still in there, and the car performs beautifully. Now what we did is we did some external enhancements on the injection side, front runner system, gave it a better exhaust and a few other little details, and consequently you have a barn-burning car. This thing will absolutely fly. It's the perfect blend, if you will, of original with modern upgrades, enhancements, without going too far and tipping the scale and getting too far away from what we all fell in love with to begin with, which is the original. This is an original, and it's absolutely a work of art. I have to add my favorite thing about this receipt right here. It says no warranty, high performance car. Well, it's gone 5,000 miles since this build, so it's been lovingly cared for by a preservation-minded owner, and fortunately it was built well, and I don't think the warranty matters at this point. This car is really in fantastic condition. I need to also add the fact that we put a 5-speed behind the motor, took out the original 4-speed, and we also put modern day air conditioning, heat, and defrost, and a lot of other things. Updated the sound system using the original radio, etc., etc. So it is a much improved classic that has the best of both worlds. Let's take a closer look at the paint, fit, and finish of this gorgeous car. Just look at this beautiful raven black paint. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, but what you'd probably be shocked to know, it's over 20 years old. But it's the end result of Tyler, my son, who is an absolute master paint technician, spending hours on it to bring it back to its former luster. And to me, it looks like it was painted last week. You know, it's not absolutely perfect, but it's as nice as you need. If you're going to drive a car, it's as nice as you'd want it to be. It really is beautiful. We put some new bright work on it to make sure that, you know, it's a consistent look top to bottom. And it is. It's truly a beautiful car. Now let's look at the interior, which is also stunning. No disappointments in here. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is the signature 67 Hall of Fame interior, unique to this year. And we took the standard camera case components out, replaced it with all this beautiful deluxe brushed aluminum that you see, including the door panels. We added the console, and the end result really is hard to beat. It really is beautiful. I mean, the second you sit in this car, you're already happy. It's just so, so impressive. All right, well, let's lift the hood and take a look at this engine bay. Check out this engine bay. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a list of our ingredients that I think you probably would be interested in. But basically, what you have here is an original engine block with all the goodies attached to it, just to give it that extra performance. We had to change out the air cleaner from the originals because we had some clearance issues once we went to the EFI Sniper Holly fuel injection. Of course, the valve covers had already been changed to get clearance for the roller rockers. And then up front, you see the incredible serpentine system and that handles the air conditioning and all the modern components necessary in the front end of this motor. So it really is a very stable performance package that's very impressive and fun to drive. We put a aftermarket Griffin aluminum radiator in, and we painted it black so that it looked also as close to original as possible. So at the end of the day, it's as original presentation as we could possibly have and still have the modern performance that we were looking to get out of the car. So let's fire it up and let's listen to that exhaust system, which just sounds heavenly. Okay, it's time to start it up, and wait till you hear this 390. This thing is on steroids. I think I can just reach in and turn the key with this fuel injection. That sounds fantastic. Let's go on that test drive. Well, we'll be out of the neighborhood in a minute, and what it's like to be in this car right now. Well, it's probably close to 100 degrees outside. Feels great in here. Let's see, this looks like my air is coming out of there at 50 degrees. So it's super comfortable inside the cabin of this car right now. And you don't feel like you're in a high-performance car per se. It doesn't telegraph any of those signals that a overbuilt car would. You can hear a little rumble from the exhaust. I've got the windows up, and you know there's something under that hood, but it doesn't have bad habits. So this is the kind of car I like. I like one that's got two personalities, one that's street-like fighter if you want it to be. Just something that you can get out and have fun in and feel some torque through each gear. And then one that you can just cruise in. And if that cruising allows for highway cruising, all the better. And of course the 5-speed does exactly that. Let's recap. I don't know if you've watched video 1 and video 2 on the series we're doing on this old school to new school build. Let's kind of recap, just in shorthand, what we started with and what the goals and objectives were and what we did. So we started with a super nice original car with some old school performance mods. We replaced some of those old school performance mods with modern day mods, mainly fuel injection, new exhaust front to rear, new higher cooling capability of the engine itself, new ignition and spark, a front runner system, and let's see, air conditioning, sound deadening, restored the original radio to Bluetooth, etc., and rebuilt the third member. And oh yeah, we did the LED lights as well. So we did quite a few items to this car, which in total really advanced the enjoyability of the car. And here I'm mainly referencing behind the wheel. The experience behind the wheel is dramatically enhanced by each one of those steps. And there's fifth gear, and I love fifth gear. no problem getting up to speed. That 390, when properly sorted, is really a good motor, very torquey. You'll recall in the first video, when this car still had its 4-speed, at 55 miles per hour, we were turning 3,000 RPM, and now at 55 miles per hour, we're turning 2,000 RPM. So adding the 5-speed dropped it by 1,000 RPM, and that's fantastic. That makes a huge difference, really, in the ability to get on the interstate and just sail cross country in these cars. I love the TKO 600 5-speed. There's another gear still, but I think you're going to be at warp speed if you do that all the way through 5 gears. That's a lot of fun. Okay, so is the car fast? Yes, it's fast, and it feels really fast. And that's one of the cool advantages of a vintage car. You don't have to go death speed over 100 miles per hour to enjoy the car like you do like in a modern supercar. In this car, you can enjoy it really at 50 miles per hour all the way to 100. It's just an absolute blast. And remember, the goal was not to be fast like a supercar. You can't bridge that gap in technology between what this car is, which is a mild resto mod, and a supercar. What the goal was to take a super high quality original 67 Raven Black S-code GT and enhance it. One that already had old school upgrades, and replace those old school upgrades with modern upgrades, thereby enhancing the performance level to a level that was not only more fun, but more reliable. And that's exactly what we've done. So in addition to all the performance upgrades, we also added some safety enhancements, which included LED lights everywhere you could put them on the car. And so you've got brighter brake lights, you've got brighter blinkers, you've got brighter backup lights, and we put the brightest headlights that still look stock in the car that you could get, and our horns are about twice as loud as the factory horn. So at the end of the day, you've got a car that's really easier to be seen by others around you when you're driving, thereby making it safer. So, big improvement. Okay, so we're in 3rd gear. Let's let this motor breathe a little bit. Okay, it's going to go to a place that I don't want to go in this car, but it certainly will get you there. And that's very rewarding. Very difficult to experience that kind of power in a 50-plus-year-old Mustang. Not pulling left or right, it's just fantastic. Driving down the road, really nice. And that air conditioning is blowing really cold. Got to sit at really rough railroad tracks here. These old cars, the suspension on these old cars, they don't like radical bumps and radical railroad tracks. That front end lifts up. She goes. Man alive. 4th gear is still a beast. The first 4 gears all feel like first. They pull strong. And then fortunately, there's 5th gear. I keep bringing it up, but it's for a reason. 5th gear's your friend. Okay, so you still have a 50-something-year-old Mustang. So comes with a 50-year-old Mustang certain quirks or antiquated things like vent windows and just the way these cars are sealed up. They're just not as tight as a modern-day car, that what we've come to expect. The suspension is not like a modern-day car, what we've come to expect. But beyond that, it's so much more in every other category that matters to me anyway, in terms of what I want out of my car experience. I'm not talking about my daily commuter. I'm talking about when I want to get in something and just shake off the rest of life and just have a cool car experience where everything else melts away. And the right car will do that for you. And so my son and I, we're passionate about these old cars, and we're treasure hunters. We're extremely particular, and we only buy those that meet our very, very select criteria. And the guys that buy them from us, they'll call them keepers, because these are the type cars that you can fall deeply in love with. Okay, that's it for me from myrod.com. Check out our site. I think you'll love what my son and I do. If you like this video, click like, subscribe to our channel, and share this video if you will. Okay, that's it. Adios.